Guys, I'm back with another battle video. This time it's against Shiro Star. Who will survive? So Shiro Star is running a mono normal team, and I'm running my CutiePie team. So he sends out Jigglypuff, Granbull, and Clefairy, and I'm just thinking, oh man, Friend Guard really? Got double Friend Guard right there with an Intimidator. He really knows how to start the battle off. Like, gosh. You know, I've never used Friend Guard, I've never battled against it, but seeing his strategy leads me to believe that the effects stack. So I protect my Dunsparce here. I don't think I need a Tailwind, but just in case, I don't fight many Granbulls. I know it's slow, but I just don't want to outspeed Dunsparce, so I'm not sure if it will, so I just protect to be safe. And he goes for the Toxic against the Dunsparce, so I'm protected. That's really good. Protecting right there is better than going for a flinch and not getting the flinch and being poisoned. So I see the Granbull, and then Clefairy goes for a Copycat, and then it ends up leech seeding the Mandibuzz. I'm just like, oh wow. So Friend Guard Copycat seems kind of annoying. And then Jigglypuff also goes for the Copycat leech seed, but Dunsparce is protected and CutiePie is unaffected. So that's kind of a interesting first turn. I got Tailwind off, and we each seeded one of our opponent's Pokemon, or we each seeded the other person's Pokemon. So I get Mandibuzz out of there just because I don't want the seed going on. I get Jolteon in there because I can get out of there fast, and I can aggressively switch with Jolteon. He gets rid of Granbull, gets his Togekiss in. I don't think his Togekiss likes this spot since I switched Jolteon in on it. And then here comes a Rock Slide. Just look at that piss poor damage. Like, that's what double Friend Guard does. Like, it's brutal. So now I get the seed off against Jigglypuff. Very flinched. Jigglypuff went for a Copycat. Going for another Leech Seed. But CutiePie is still unaffected by the Leech Seed. CutiePie takes some Leech Seed damage from Jigglypuff. Doesn't heal because it hasn't taken damage. He gets rid of Togekiss. Gets his Special Wall Blissey in there. Probably see some kind of electric attack coming Togekiss's direction, and switched in on it. Look at that. That is a critical hit Volt Switch from a modest spec Jolteon. Look at that piss poor damage. Like, that's nothing. Look at Friend Guard is incredible. So I get Mandibuzz back out there. The seed's gone. Go for the Rock Slide. You know, I'm at -1, and it's like Intimidate really only hurt the Dunsparce, and I'm not switching it because I'm not using Dunsparce to deal damage. I'm using it for those flinches that happen. And then he gets a light screen up. But shitty damage that Jolteon did against Blissey wasn't even against a light screen. It's just ugly. And CutiePie getting some more into turn Leech Seed damage. Good job, CutiePie. And here comes another Rock Slide. So yeah, and here comes Mandibuzz with the Toxic. Let's poison that Clefairy. Residual damage every turn. Then CutiePie uses the Reflect. I can't Leech Seed either of those guys, so I might as well put up a screen. And Blissey goes for a skill swap against Jigglypuff. So it looks like it's taking Friend Guard away from Jigglypuff and either giving it Natural Cure, Serene Grace, or Healer. I'm probably leaning towards Healer, considering the guy's strategy. And more Leech Seed damage, which we all love. CutiePie has just done the most damage to the opponent so far. Like, with their Friend Guard up, Leech Seed bypasses all that, and it does the same amount every turn. Good, there goes my Tailwind. Don't really need it. He got rid of his Blissey and gets his Granbull back out there. Gets Dunsparce at -2. I guess Mandibuzz is slightly affected with the knockoff. But knockoff doesn't deal much damage to begin with, and I'm not using that to deal damage, I'm just using that to knock their items off. So I go for the Rock Slide again, dropping rocks, going for flinches. Mandibuzz gets the Toxic off against Granbull. Really liking how this battle's going so far, and I get a light screen up, just why not? I could have gone for a Leech Seed, but, you know, Copycat. The Fairy flinched, and Jigglypuff went for the Wish. So Jigglypuff looked up at the sky, saw an airplane, and pretended it was a shooting star. And CutiePie takes some damage from Jigglypuff, or takes some life, although CutiePie's into heal, and then poison damage goes off, and it's poison damage getting bigger on Clefairy. And I went for a headbutt right here. I figured it'd be a long battle, and I just really cared about flinching the Granbull. And I just wanted to preserve my rock slides, and I knocked off the Bright Powder with knockoff. And then the Granbull got the Toxic off against Dunsparce. The flinch didn't go off. Kind of annoying. Get the Leech Seed off against Granbull, which kind of is not great because I set them up to Leech Seed my Pokemon. So Clefairy got the seed off against Mandibuzz again. Kind of annoying. Kind of very annoying. And then Jigglypuff copycat and finally got the seed off against Dunsparce. So Dunsparce is poisoned and seeded, not in a good spot. Same thing's going on with Granbull too, so we'll see how it goes. And Jigglypuff's wish came true. And they got some Leech Seed damage from Dunsparce. Ugh. Heal a little bit. And Clefairy heals a little bit from his Leech Seed. And then CutiePie takes some Leech Seed damage from Granbull. It's all this Leech Seed damage. It's like a weather effect. It's the Leech Seed battle. Although my opponent just has Copycat and not Leech Seed. And there's the poison damage. I decided to keep Dunsparce in right here because I want to get that Rock Slide off. I go for the double switch on the outsides, and there's a Citrus Berry. I wanted to knock it off. Probably would have next turn if I didn't get seeded, but he would have used it anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered. So I go for the double switch on the outsides, get Staraptor in there, setting up either a U-turn or a close combat. And I get CutiePie out of there and get Jolteon in there, setting up a U-turn, because I want to... My plan for Dunsparce is to switch it out next turn and get it in there with the CutiePie lifelink against Granbull and Jigglypuff. Because it's... Right now it's seeded, but once I get out it won't be seeded anymore, but it'll still be toxic. So if he has a double seed going on, I'll be able to kind of survive a little bit before having to really worry about the toxic damage. And Clefairy uses Reflect. He's just getting his Reflect up. Jigglypuff flinch. Good job with the flinches, Dunsparce. Triple flinch would be nice, but you're getting flinches in. You're limiting what he can do. And you're not letting him get the wishes off when he needs to, and this battle's just a grind. This is a grind. This is a tough battle. This guy really knows what he's doing, and there goes his light screen. And I get Dunsparce out there, and I get CutiePie back in there. With CutiePie in the center, I can seed any spot on the field right now that hasn't been seeded. And he gets his Snorlax in there, shiny, although doesn't really look shiny. And I go for a Volt Switch. I don't really deal too much damage, but I get Dunsparce out there. He's no longer seeded. He switched out Granbull, so I only have Lifelink going on against the Jigglypuff. And I go for Close Combat, which deals significant damage, which really tells me that that thing with the skill swap has kind of screwed him over a little bit. And then Clefairy goes for a Copycat and copies the Close Combat. My Reflect went down last turn, but regardless, Clefairy's at -1. It's probably has no attack. It did piss poor damage to Staraptor, and it lowered its defenses in the process. Jigglypuff goes for the Wish. And, Snorlax gets his little leftovers, and Dunsparce takes some damage from Jigglypuff thanks to CutiePie. And it's just a great turn. So I'm thinking he might protect the Snorlax or just do something with it. So I go for a Close Combat against the Clefairy since it's at -1. Plan is to Close Combat Leech Seed it. Hopefully it'll be enough to kill it, because even if he goes for a Wish, I'll be able to hit it again next turn. And Clefairy goes down. It was a crit, unfortunately, but well, I guess it kind of was fortunate for me, but I didn't want to win with a crit. But so I go for the Rock Slide, and then since Clefairy died, the Leech Seed goes against Snorlax, which is really good, considering how much life it has. And then he goes for a Stockpile, thinking, you know, I can take another close combat with the Stockpile, but your Friend Guard's down. You're gonna have to get the Jigglypuff out and back in. And he switched spots with the Snorlax just so he could get so he can heal it with the Wish. Now he's like not really in like the greatest spot. He doesn't have a Friend Guard. Like he may have a Reflect Up. I don't think his light screen is still up anymore. And things really aren't looking good for him. And poison damage, Leech Seed damage, it's beautiful. There goes my light screen, and he sends out Togekiss. Right here, to be safe, I get rid of CutiePie and get Jolteon out there in case he's going for an Air Slash. I want to absorb the hit and then set up a spot for him to probably have to retreat the Togekiss. Togekiss goes for the Follow Me, so the close combat going Jigglypuff's direction is directed towards Togekiss. At this point, next turn, my plan is to Volt Switch the Jigglypuff, switch Staraptor for Nidoking, and then on the Volt Switch get Staraptor back in there, just so I don't have those defense drops that I have since I used close combat twice. And I'm just ready to set this battle up. He goes for a Metronome. I'm just ready to take this one home. Like, I've got everything in place, got everything together, zigged when I should have zigged, zagged when I should have zagged, got him in a bad spot, got him to make bad decisions, and pretty much got him in a dead end. And that is, look at that. He went for Metronome, got a Vacuum Wave off, and then Jolteon healed off all that damage because of CutiePie. This guy's in a bad spot. He knows he can't win. So Shiro Star, with over 2,500 wins and triple battles on random matchup, decides to forfeit against me. Like, what's up with that? You're a respectable opponent. You didn't rage quit, but I would have loved it if you could have seen the battle through to the end. Alright, Shiro Star, good game. I hope to see you again in the future. Take care, good night, thanks for watching everyone, and who was the MVP? Alright, good night, guys.